Hello everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and welcome to the Cajun Guitar Gear Podcast. We are going to be covering a variety of topics. Today we have a brand new Voyager, we have another new gear from Mr. Alex Lifeson. We have some David Gilmour stuff going on, and we have a brand new Soldano amp. So I am recording this, by the way, if you're watching. I am recording this on my webcam because my normal camera I use, I can only do for 30 minutes at a time, and I'm afraid I might go over, so I don't want to have to get up and stop it. This kind of makes things a little easier. So if things look worse, that is why. It's probably going to get bright and not bright when I'm switching between the tabs. So the very first thing we are going to be checking out is going to be the brand new Kramer Lzzy Hale Voyager electric guitar. Lzzy Hale is the guitarist for the band Hailstorm with her brother. He is the drummer. And we have a Voyager. It is really sparkly. It has a Floyd Rose 1000 on it. The pickup is going to be a Kramer 85T that it says. It's a 22 fret guitar with a 25.5 inch scale on it. For the inlay, you have some lightning strikes, some electricity, kind of like a thunderbolt sort of looking, and it looks really cool. This guitar is pretty nice. It is going to run you about $1,500, and this is going to be made probably in the same place that Gibson makes all of their other stuff, because Kramer is owned by Gibson, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Chinese guitar. We're looking at it on Sweetwater right now. It is back ordered. Everything that's been coming out lately, it seems to be everything's a limited run, which is weird, kind of. It's everything's back ordered, or everything's limited. But anyway, that is going to be the Lzzy Hale guitar. This would technically qualify as quick riffs, because I'm going to do all of the quicker, shorter stuff first, so that we can spend a longer amount of time on the brand new Soldano. As we went over last week, Alex Lifeson's launching his new Omega line of amps with Mojo Tone. Now we're taking that Omega line of amps and we're putting that into a pedal, and it also comes along with a boost. It's called the Lerxst By Tor, and you can only get it on Revv, actually, because I think this is from Mojo Tone's store, and you can only get it from there because it took me a little bit of work to kind of track it down, and it's going to cost you $300 for one of these bad boys. So this pedal is kind of cool. So it has a boost side and it has a drive side, so it's two different circuits in one pedal, and you can choose which one you put first. There's a little switch in the middle of it. You can switch between either one. You can put boost first, you can put drive first, you can turn them on and off. The boost side just has a level, and the drive side has tone gain and level. And we actually have an awesome video from this from Mr. Andy over at Revv. So I'm going to play different parts of it, and I'll kind of tell you, this is kind of the drive section, and then I'll fast forward into the video, and we'll see what it sounds like when you have the boost stacked along with the drive. So this is just going to be the drive.
Alright, so barely even turning up this gain control, and we're already in some, classic Lifeson and Rush sounds here. So let's see how far we can take it with the gain control, and also how the tone can really help just add some more.
Thank you, Andy, for that. Let's see this playing. So at this setting right here, he has the tone at noon. He has the gain at about 11 o'clock, and the level is at 2 o'clock roughly. And by the way, guys, if I got sent all this gear, I would literally just use my own videos for it, but I don't, so I gotta use other people's videos. So now he has the drive on, and he's gonna play a little bit, and he's gonna kick the boost on. You'll hear it when it kicks in. As you can see, the pedal sounds really, really cool. I'm kind of a big fan of these drive and boosts in the same circuit. Revv has a Sean Tubbs pedal, which is very, very similar to this. The Sean Tubbs pedal is kind of a lot bigger. I have just the boost side of that on my pedal board. Actually, right here, I have the tilt boost from Revv, which is actually phenomenal because you can sweep out like a lot of lows and stuff with that. This one's a little bit more limited, but it's a little bit more straight to the point. I like the artwork on it. It's cool. You have the big wolf looking thing on it, and depending on which side you kick on is the side of the eye of the wolf that lights up. I think this pedal is really cool. If kind of like I said last week with Alex's amps, if you want like classic Rush sound, this is 100% gonna do it for you. It's pretty much Alex's tones in a box. Now, speaking of another guitarist that's putting their tones in a box, we're gonna be checking out from Crazy Tube Circus. We're gonna be checking out the high power pedal. This is pretty much like a David Gilmour pedal is pretty much what this is. It has two different sections on it. Let's go back to our favorite demoing YouTuber, one of them, Mr. Leon Todd, and he does a very good job with it. So if you're looking on the screen right now, basically what it is you can choose the headroom. You can go to a 50 watt amp or a 100 watt amp, and you have like an EQ side. You have like a it's kind of like the same thing, kind of like the By Tor we just looked at. So you have like a boost side, like a boost drive side, and you have like your amp side of it. This is a little bit different pedal, but it's kind of the same concept. You have like two things in one in here. And Mr. Leon was good enough to put chapter markers in here, which a lot of people don't do that, and this is mini rant. They annoy me because like when people are doing videos like this, like podcasts for example, or you're trying to compare stuff, play a little bit of his jam at the beginning so you can kind of hear it. He has it on the 50 watt side of it. And basically what this pedal is for is it's to kind of emulate the tones from Shine On You Crazy Diamond from Pink Floyd. Now let's listen what this sounds like with his time delay. This is with the boost on. So you have the high power, you have the like plexi side, and you have the booster on. And you can also boost a dirty amp with it, which Leon does it right here, and he just uses the boost side. So this is a very similar pedal to the By Tor that we just kind of looked at, kind of, where you have like two things in the one pedal. I think this high pedal is really cool. If you want David Gilmour type tones, if you're going after a high watt type of stuff, which is a little bit different, you know, if you want, you know, if you're in that Marshall realm, but you want something a little bit different, this would be absolutely perfect. Now, moving on to another pedal, and then we're going to get to the Soldano amp. We're almost there, guys. So we're going to be looking at a Tumnus from Wampler, right? So Wampler has a normal Tumnus. That is the gold one. They just released one this week, but it has germanium clipping styles in it. They found, when I mean Wampler, found a bunch of the germanium chips, and they built pedals around them, and they sold out absolutely quick. I mean, they sold out, I think, like less than an hour. Like, I got an email from them apologizing for not sending out an email to his email list first, because he said basically, I think Anderson's put up a video really early, and everything spiraled out of control, and they all sold out. But I think he says he's coming out with a few more of them, which is really weird on Sweetwater, because that's where we're at right now. So I have the Tumnus Germanium Transparent Overdrive, which is a Klon clone, by the way. I'm sorry, I should have said that at the very beginning. This is a Klon clone. It's a very good one, by the way. So if you click more details, kind of like where I'm at on Sweetwater, it takes you to the normal Tumnus one, which is gold. And this one is also back ordered. So the Germanium ones are 180. Is that how much they are? Yes, the Germanium ones are 180. The normal non-Germanium ones, I think these are silicon based. Yes, the gold ones are 150, and they are currently back ordered. They both sound really, really good. And now I have a video here. This is perfectly illustrated. This is the Andertons video for this, and they have two clones, right? They have Clone 1, they have Clone 2, and they have the Germanium Tumnus, and they have the normal Tumnus. And they kind of configured them all to like sound exactly the same. So to save you from watching the entire video or listening to it, basically the gold Tumnus, that's the silicon-based one, it has a little bit more treble in it, so if you turn the treble down a little bit, it sounds exactly the same as all the other clones. So the settings on the two Klons and the Germanium one, they all sound exactly the same. So you have gain at 9, you have treble at 12, and you have the output at 3 o'clock. That is for the two Klons and the Germanium Tumnus. I think for the gold one, let me go ahead a little bit. Yeah, he has it a little south of 12, so like 11 o'clock, yes. Sorry, I have to think about that sometimes, the position. So he has it, the gold one, the silicon-based one, that one is like at 11 o'clock, and everything else for treble-wise is at noon, because the Germanium one has a little bit more treble. And basically what it is it's set up on a pedal switcher, and he's going to switch between them, and just listen to how much it doesn't change. So as you can hear, it sounded exactly the same. So the Tumnus is a dang good clone of the Klon. It sounds exactly the same. It's a lot smaller. It doesn't cost you $5,000 to get one. The Germanium ones would technically be the most authentic one. But if you're fine with a gold one and you like gold more than you like silver, and you turn the treble down a little bit, you have the exact same tone as the Klon in its different positions, but I mean, just use it as a way to get the best tone. I think it's cool that they made them with the Germanium ones. It's kind of like a special edition if people who want that authentic Klon sound. But there's also other good Klon clones out there. There's a ton of them, and the Tumnus is just one of those good ones. Now that we have wrapped up with pedals, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to check out this Soldano Astro 2020 Watt 3 channel head. By the way, short little plug for myself here. If you would like a Soldano Astro, look in the description. I have my Sweetwater links, affiliate links down there. I just get a tiny kickback if you buy stuff through Sweetwater using my link, and I take that money and I put it back in the channel so I can give you cool content. So it's a self-sustaining economy. That's the only little plug I'm gonna do right there. And this amp is really cool. It came out on Monday, on December 4th, which is literally the day after I posted the last podcast. So I've had kind of a week to digest it. So let's talk about it a little bit. Basically what this is a 3-channel amp. You have 2 drive channels. The 2 drive channels are going to share an EQ. It has MIDI on it. It has a USB port on it. Let me go to the back section so we can kind of see it right here. Come on, give me the back. Okay, yeah, so let's go from left to right. You have the foot switch, which is MIDI, so it does have MIDI. The power switch is on the back. You have the balanced output, so that's so you can use the preamp out of it. So you can use the IRs. It has built-in IRs, and you can pick which IR you want per each channel. You have a headphone jack. You have an effects loop, and you have your 4, 8, and 16 ohm selectors right there. So this is technically the first, and I put this in quotations, modern Soldano, meaning that it has MIDI on it. It has the USB port on it. It has a lot of modern features on it. Now, some of you might also be saying, okay, it's a small little amp. It's a light tube amp. It has some IR out on it. I say load box. Let me cover this before I forget. So Pete Thorne, he did a video on this, which was fantastic, by the way. And in his video, he pointed out that the way this is set up, it's the same IR technology that the Friedman IRX pedal has, meaning the power section of everything is going to be emulated. So it's not like a true load box. Like my Revv 100R amp that I have, 100R Mark III, it has the same type of deal where it has a 2 notes captor built in it where you can use the IR out in it, but it's using an actual load box in it. So the actual power section of it is included in the sound whenever you pull it out, because that's what the load box has. But on here, if it's not connected to a cab, the power section is going to be turned off, and the power section is going to be emulated. I'm just bringing that up. Pete showed on his video that if you crank up the volume, whenever it's plugged into a cab, it's on the clean channel, you're going to get, it's going to distort. But if you crank it whenever it's plugged in, it's not plugged into a cab, and it's just on what is it technically called? The balanced output. If it's on the balance, if it's connected out to the balanced output to your interface, it's not going to break up. I know that was a lot of words. That put me out of breath there. Let's look at the front panel. You have your input. You have a bright switch. You can store your channels on it. You have 3 different positions. You have, you know, like dull, medium, and you have like super bright. You have master. You have a depth. Depth, the same thing as like the bright knob. You have 3 different positions, and you can do the cabinet bypass too. That is on the front. Now, what makes this cool is if you're familiar with like the Revv G20, for example, which this amp is in that, it's in the same category. Let me just use that word. It's in the same category, meaning that it's a small tube amp. It has an IR out on it. It has its own IRs on it, and the different channels you can pick different aggressions. So on the Revv, the different aggressions you have blue and red when it comes to the aggressions. It's a little bit different on here, but it's the same kind of thinking. And I'm just saying that because I know a lot of people are kind of familiar with it. I know I'm familiar with it. So you have a clean channel on here, and you have 2 drive channels, and the 2 drive channels share an EQ, but you can configure them however you want. So you see the little galaxy symbol right here, which it kind of looks like an atom. If I'm being honest, it's kind of what it looks like, but it's actually a galaxy. So this changes different colors, so you can turn it to green, blue, and then red, gain wise. So that's the 3 structures of it. So each of the 2 channels have that galaxy, meaning, so if you want channel 1 to be like the purple one, if you want the more mid forward galaxy, you want that, and you want the lead one to be your other one, that one can be red. And you also have 2 volumes on here, so each of the drive distortion channels have their own drive, which is really nice. You don't see that much on a 20-watt amp, so that is kind of more the little modern thing on there. And you can put volume 2, if that's your lead channel, you can put that one a little louder, or if you want it to be soft. So you have a channel level. I wish they would have they should label that as level, because it has volume 1, volume 2, which kind of makes sense. In my brain, a level makes more sense because it's the level of a channel. And then you also have a master, and you also have a presence knob on the front. I love the setup. The setup is very, very similar to my Revv, and I just love that setup. You have so much functionality built right into it. Now, you're looking at about $2,000 for it, which that's a reasonable price. It's a 20-watt amp. Yes, it is using smaller tubes. I think it's using 6v6 tubes. Let's see what type. Yes, you have 4 12AX7, and you have 2 6v6s for the power. So the power is 2v6s, preamps 4 12AX7s. You have 6 IR cab models in it, Type B USB port on the back. So I know I've been talking about it a lot, so let's get to some actual sounds. I'm going to show you 2 of them. I'm going to show you some from Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben, Eller, go subscribe to Uncle Ben. He is the best, one of the best people in the world. And we have Mr. Michael Nielson, who's also a really good person in the world. Michael is really into 80s type stuff, so he nails a lot of these sounds. Like, if you want like the quintessential Astro 20 videos, Mike has a lot of them, because he copies like famous sounds of people who use Soldanos in the 80s. He has a video on that. He has like a setup guide for it. So he sets you up completely on everything. Let's listen to his opening track. It's so damn good. Just to interrupt, that opening track was in the red. Now he's using the blue. Which blue is clean? His opening track is absolutely fantastic. It's really, really, really good. And he goes through and he explains the different things in the amp. So he does some strat playing. Let's see what it sounds. This is the green channel is like your clean channel. So let's see what that sounds like with some strat playing. He's using a James Tyler, which fantastic guitar.
Here I switch the cab to a Soldano 212.
By the way, let me touch on the IR stuff while I'm thinking about it. You do have IR software that goes along with this. So you get like 6 of them. That's included in here. Where is it? He goes over it right here. So you get the Soldano V, you get the Soldano 212, which is V30, you get the 412, which is greenback outer. You get a 412 with a V30 Edge, and you have some UK ones that are in here. You have V30 Beef, and you have Blend. But you can also put your own. That's the only ones that comes with, but you can also put your own in here. And each channel is like fully programmable, so each channel can have its own IR or everything. It's super flexible, and you can also change the galaxies too from the front, and you can kind of program it too, and you can save it. You can save it from the front of the amp. You don't have to use the software. You don't have to use MIDI. You can save it right from the front of the amp. So that's kind of I wanted to show you the. It's powered by Synergy, by the way, because like Synergy and Soldano and Friedman, they're all under the boutique amp distribution, which is bad. It's the acronym for it, which that actually is an acronym because you can pronounce it. If you've been in initialism, you can't pronounce it. By the way, that's your grammar English lesson for the day. And let's go back to some more playing. Sorry about that. So green is your clean. So blue is kind of like your crunch channel. Let's see what that sounds like. And around the edge of the light, when the different planets, if you want to call it, around the planets or moons, it technically, they all don't have a rotation. I'm getting very nerdy here. They all don't have a rotation, which they all should, if they're technically all rotating a star in the galaxy. They all don't have a rotation, but anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track there. All around the edge of them, there's 6 of them. It moves depending on which IR you pick, which this is really cool. I love the graphic and having it integrated into how the amp works. That's really cool. All right, you get the picture. I don't want to just kind of just play out his whole video for the podcast. But now we have the purple section, which this is your more mid-focused galaxy, so to speak. On the Revs, this is kind of your more like hot-rodded Soldano sound. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of, like a hot Marshall is basically what this is.
Brown sound, a brighter approach, and a little higher gain from where blue came from. Red is pure Soldano DNA, those big, round, high gain tones.
As you can hear, the red is your bigger, fatter, meatier galaxy, if you want to speak, which they all sound really freaking good to me. The thing that surprised me the most about this amp is that most small lunchbox amps, they kind of suck. And when I mean suck, they sound wide open too fast. They don't have a lot of headroom most of the time, and a lot of people don't like lunchbox amps, meaning like smaller amps, smaller wattage amps, because it's just not what they're used to. The Soldano is really good. Like pretty much almost every video that I've watched on it, it sounds really fantastic. And now I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, Lucas, what about some even heavier tones? Well, we have Uncle Ben for that. So he's gonna be on the Red Galaxy. He's gonna be on the Red Galaxy, and he's gonna use the precision drive with it, and he basically gets it into a gent tone. If he would use a 7-string tuned to like A flat, he could definitely gent on this.
How much tighter it gets.
So yeah, you heard when he kicked in the precision drive, he got his gent on basically. So let's go back to his. I want you to listen to Uncle Ben's opening track because it's very EVH sounding. It's very Van Hagar sounding, and then he even got the drums, like the drum sound is very much on EVH. So as you can see, this little 20-watt Soldano can bang out some some Van Halen tones. I would love to own one, and I would probably use it more for like hard rock stuff, lower gain stuff to hard rock. I mean, you can definitely use it for metal. It's not this. I don't think this is exactly where this thing was punching at. You can get it with the red channel, and the right pedals. You can definitely get it for metal. I just find it excels more blue and green and blue and purple galaxies. I just find that's where it excels at, and it thrives. Like that brown sound, like what Mike was talking about. I just find that it thrives right there is where it would thrive. So I think that is gonna wrap things up for the podcast, guys. That is definitely gonna wrap things up. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely tried to grab a bunch of different things so we could talk about it this week. Like I said, I am using the webcam, so if you're watching, the quality was probably a little weird going through there. Make sure you subscribe to Uncle Ben Eller and to Mr. Michael Nielson, because they have lots of cool videos that they come out with and everything they do. Sounds fantastic. We have a couple more weeks till Christmas, so I'm going to let you know what's going to happen then, because I don't exactly know if I'm going to be putting any episodes out. If I do, it'll probably be short, because I think the flow of gear news is probably going to slow down a little bit with the end of the year, and everyone trying to hurry up and get sales right now for the holiday rush. So I'll keep you guys in the loop as to what is going to be happening with the next couple of episodes. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching this podcast. Seriously, I appreciate it, because it's I do it for you guys. I really do. I like doing it, but I do it for you because there's a few of y'all, like I said that's the episode. You messaged me and you said you like watching it. You kind of look forward to it, so I'm doing it for you guys. So thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time. I really do appreciate it, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.